Get ready for a wild ride through history as we explore the stories of 5 badass queens who took revenge to a whole new level. These fierce female rulers didn't just sit back and accept the wrongs done to them. They plotted, schemed, and fought back with a vengeance that would make even the most ruthless rulers quake in their boots. First up, we have the legendary Boudica, queen of the Celtic Iceni tribe in ancient Britain. When her husband died, the Romans saw an opportunity to seize control of the region. They flogged Boudica and raped her daughters, but they had no idea who they were messing with. Boudica rallied her people and led a massive rebellion against the Romans, burning entire cities to the ground. She struck fear into the hearts of the Roman occupiers until she was finally defeated in battle. Even in death, Boudica remained a symbol of resistance against oppression. Next, we have the ruthless Wu Zetian, the only female emperor in Chinese history. When her husband, Emperor Gaozong, fell ill, Wu seized power as regent and began a campaign of terror against her enemies. She framed rivals with false crimes so she could confiscate their wealth and land. She reportedly had a secret police force that preyed on her political adversaries and even had her own grandson strangled to death. She declared herself emperor in a grand ceremony and established the Zhou dynasty, ruling for 15 years until her death. Our third badass queen is Olga of Kiev, a 10th century ruler of Kievan Rus. When her husband Igor was killed by a rival tribe called the Drevlians, Olga vowed revenge. She lured the Drevlian ambassadors into a trap and had them buried alive, then burned their city to the ground with the remaining inhabitants locked inside. She went on to convert to Christianity and was later recognized as a saint, proving that even the most vengeful rulers can find redemption. Fourth on our list is Isabella of France, known as the She-Wolf of France. When her husband, Edward II of England, proved to be an ineffective ruler and insulted her by flaunting his male favorites at court, Isabella took matters into her own hands. She raised an army and invaded England, capturing Edward and forcing him to abdicate the throne in favor of their son. Isabella then had Edward imprisoned and, according to some accounts, had him brutally murdered by having a red-hot poker inserted into his rectum. Talk about a ruthless revenge plot. Finally, we have Arawello, a legendary warrior queen of Somalia. According to oral traditions, Arawello was a fierce fighter who castrated male prisoners and made them into her personal bodyguards. She was said to have a deep hatred of men and believed that women should rule the world. Arawello's story has become a symbol of female empowerment in Somalia, with many women invoking her name as a rallying cry against male oppression. But why were these queens so hell-bent on revenge? In many cases, it was a matter of survival in a male-dominated world. These women faced incredible odds and had to fight tooth and nail to assert their power and protect their interests. They also lived in a time when violence was often the only way to settle scores and maintain order. By taking revenge on their enemies, these queens sent a clear message that they were not to be trifled with. At the same time, there's no denying that some of these queens took things too far. Wu Zetian's reign of terror and Olga's brutal tactics against the Drevlians were extreme, even by the standards of their time. It's easy to get caught up in the drama and excitement of these revenge plots, but we shouldn't lose sight of the human cost involved. That said, there's something undeniably compelling about these stories of badass queens taking revenge. They tap into a deep-seated desire for justice and retribution that many of us feel when we've been wronged. And in a world where women are still fighting for equality and respect, these queens serve as powerful reminders that female rulers can be just as fierce and formidable as their male counterparts. So what can we learn from these tales of vengeful queens? For one thing, they remind us that history is full of complex, nuanced figures who defy easy categorization. These women were not simply victims or villains, but rather complex individuals who navigated treacherous political landscapes with skill and cunning. They also remind us that power is never static, and that even the most entrenched systems of oppression can be challenged and overturned by those with the courage and determination to fight back. Perhaps most importantly, these stories inspire us to stand up for ourselves and fight for what we believe in, even in the face of overwhelming odds. They remind us that we all have the power within us to be badass queens in our own right. Whether we're taking on corrupt politicians, fighting for social justice, or simply refusing to be silenced in the face of adversity. So, if you're ready to channel your inner warrior queen, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our Ancient to Now channel for more tales of badass women throughout history. And let us know in the comments which of these vengeful queens you find most inspiring. Who knows, maybe you'll be the next one to take the ultimate revenge and change the course of history.